wanted to know, what are the Americans doing? In the gospel music industry. They always want to come to London, but what are they doing there? And who are the players in the industry? Who are the industry personnel? And what are the opportunities? So I came, and this was back in the late 90s. I would travel back and forth and come to the conferences, and I just fell in love with the US. I loved it. I loved it. America is so big. One of our states is as big as England. So there's 52 states. So you can guess how much ground there is to cover.
Welcome. I am joined today on the Heart of It with Carol Crawford, joining me all the way from Seattle. So it's afternoon where I am, but it's early morning where you are, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's about 9:30 in the morning. So just getting my day started.
Getting your day started. And you were saying it's really hot right now.
Oh my goodness, we're having a heat wave right now. It's our summer, but we've been having a heat wave since June. And we just came out of 105-degree weather. Now we're down to about 70, 80 degrees, but it's hot.
It's hot. It's nice and hot.
It's nice and toasty, and we're not used to that. It rains all the time in Seattle. You watch Frasier, don't you?
That gives us a nice picture of it, for sure. So my name is Jack Robson, and it's a real pleasure and privilege to be sat here for the next roughly sort of 20 minutes, deep diving with Carol. We're going to get to the heart of it. And so, Carol, I've already spent a little bit of time talking, and I know that Carol's roots are not Seattle. So that's where I want to jump straight in, Carol. Tell us, where are your roots? Where was life growing up? And then how did the move take place?
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you, Jack, for having me on. This is awesome. I appreciate being invited onto your show. I'm going to say two words, and I'll give a moment to guess, and then I'll tell you. Citizen Smith and the Something Popular Front. Do you remember those shows?
No, I don't.
Well, I guess I'm a little bit older than you, Jack. Just a little bit. Tooting Broadway is my home. That's where I was born and raised. Born in Balham, raised in Tooting. And I just love Tooting Broadway. Every time I come home to visit, that's the first stop, Tooting. I go through Tooting Market, I walk down the high street, I find my favorite restaurants. Now you have a Starbucks, so I can use my handy dandy Starbucks app. I just love Tooting. But I'm from Tooting Broadway, and years ago, 20 years ago or so, over 20 years ago, I got an opportunity to work for a record label. So moved to Seattle to work for the label. It was called Trinity Records. It was a division of Hendrix Records, which is the Jimmy family. And this was their gospel arm. And we had artists like Soul, Divine Nature, Kenny Smith. And it was a wonderful, a fantastic, and an exciting experience. So that's how I came to Seattle. In the process, I met my now husband. That's another long story for another day. But I wouldn't have come to Seattle. I wouldn't have. So yes, started off in Seattle. And then I was working for a company in London. It was a software company, but they had a magazine, an executive recruitment magazine. And they asked me to develop business for the magazine. Let me just have some of my coffee.
Go for it.
Ooh, Jack.
Particularly at 9:30. It's needed, isn't it? And I find I need it at this time in the afternoon as well. I'm like, I definitely need my coffee again.
Yeah, and that's what I'm drinking. Dark roast, Starbucks.
Oh, nice.
And so I was a business development executive for the magazine, and I commuted between Dallas, Jersey City, and London every month.
Whoa.
4 weeks in each city. Yes. And it was amazing. Wow. During that time, I was part of the Gospel Music Workshop of America. So I would come from London to the conference. They have 2 conferences a year. One is a board meeting where they do all the planning and the preparation for the main conference. And then they have the conference. So board meeting is in March, and then the conference is in July. I used to come over for both of those, just because I wanted to know, what are the Americans doing, in the gospel music industry? They always want to come to London, but what are they doing there? And who are the players in the industry? Who are the industry personnel? And what are the opportunities? So I came, and this was back in the late 90s. I would travel back and forth and come to the conferences, and I just fell in love with the US. I loved it. I loved it. America is so big. One of our states is as big as England. So there's 52 states. So you can guess how much ground there is to cover. But there's so much happening in the music industry. And so, I came and I worked here for a while, got to, know the country, be familiar with the people, and then the conferences and the events. And I just wanted more. I just wanted more of that. And what I also wanted to be is like a connection, like a bridge to the gospel music industry in the UK and the US, because a lot of things, we're not getting across. The Americans were coming, but the UK artists were not flying to the US. So I try to figure out, why is that not happening?
Right.
What is the disconnect? And what can I do in my little corner to bridge, the 2 countries together, and just, close that gap as it relates to, the community connection gap between the US and the UK industry. So yes, I learned a lot from working at the record label. I got a lot of opportunities. I met a lot of people. And then I moved.
Oh.
Yeah. I got a proposal. And I said, okay, London, US. But eventually I did move to Seattle. And I've been married for 19 years now, and living here for 20. And just excited. There's so much going on in the US that I want the UK to know about.
Oh, congratulations as well on your 19 years of marriage. Is it 20 this year or 20 next year?
Next year, 20 next year. Yeah.
20 next year. Wow, amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
What a celebration.
And we both have kids, so we have 7 kids between us.
Oh, nice.
About 12 grandkids. I need to count that again. But so we got quite a big family. But all of my family are in the UK. And all of my husband's family are out of state, apart from his kids. So we're kind of in the middle. So, we get to travel a lot to see folks. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, Carol, thank you so much. I'm aware that like a 20-year kind of history thing is so difficult to do in such a bite-sized chunk, but thank you. I was really interested in what you were saying there about being a bridge between the UK and the US. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? What has that looked like? How has that worked? And kind of what are some of those differences that we can really learn from?
Yeah, totally. Well, I think what it looks like is really the transfer of information and making connections. I spend a lot of time just sharing with my UK friends and industry personnel that I'm a resource. I'm here in the thick of things. I'm meeting people. I know a lot of people now over the past 20 years. I can be a connection point for you. I can be a resource and a tool.
Yeah, I like that.
So so that's what I've been, really sharing with the UK. And most recently, my brother and I have launched CNN Media, where it's basically an interview platform to highlight independent artists and, again, make a connection to the industry in the UK and the US. So we're currently on cable, on Roku TV, Amazon Fire.
I saw that. That's incredible.
I tell you, it's amazing. God is good. God is good.
Yeah.
But really, that was really just to let people know that there are independent artists out here who are just as good as those that are more visible, your national artists, those that are getting booked everywhere, and those that are getting a lot more visibility. They're just as good. They're just not as far along. So I just want people to know that. I just want people to know that. So I've been making intentional connections with the UK, letting them know what's happening here. If there's a conference that I think, somebody should be at, or it would be good to be visible at, then I'm letting them know. I'm leveraging social media. I'm sharing events in the UK, and I'm, highlighting this is in the US, sharing it in the UK so they can see the type of events that are going on, the type of connections that they can make, radio connections, especially for artists. You need to know the radio personnel. And one thing I've been saying to artists as well, don't just reach out on social media, introduce yourself. Don't just drop your CD on a post and say, hey, listen to my music and share it. Introduce yourself. It's like a relationship.
Yeah, I love that.
You're not going to walk up to someone and say, hey, Jack, hi, nice to meet you. Let's get married. You're not going to do that. You're not. You're going to say, hey, Jack, nice to meet you. So tell me about yourself. What do you do? How long have you been doing that? Do you know this person? And you're building that relationship. So I'm trying to, let the artists know, start building relationships. Start building relationships, reaching out, introduce yourself first and say, hey, I'm on this platform to network and get to know the industry. Tell them a bit about yourself, what you do, before you drop your music in there and ask them to play it on the radio. And then secondly, find out the format of their station. Some stations don't play certain types of music because they're a different format. Find that out, first of all. So just, build a relationship. So that's what I'm doing with the UK. I'm saying to the UK, hey, there's an organization here that I think you should be a part of. I think you should be visible at. They have a conference coming up. This is how you do this. Let me help you navigate the US. And so I'm doing that. So that's really, I've been doing a lot of that recently, and it's been fantastic. I've been able to make some good connections. And, the UK, not just for the artists, for the industry personnel as well. Meet your counterpart in the US. This is an organization that's doing the same as you.
Yes.
President, hey, let's do a Zoom and I'll connect you guys and then see what you can do. When you come to the States, we can host you. When we go to the UK, you can host us. And that just, means help us navigate the country. And so, a few years ago, artists were coming up to me and saying, I want to go to London. Everyone wants to go to London, Jack. Everyone wants to go to London. I'm like, we can't hold you. So everyone wants to go to London. And I'm saying, okay, so let's start from the basics. Is your music being played in London? Do you know anyone in London? Have you made any connections in London? And all the answers to those questions were no. So, I'm trying to educate those in the US. Again, build a relationship, reach out.
That makes sense.
Somebody on social media that you want to get to know, inbox them, DM them, and introduce yourself first. So, and then the other thing I'm doing here is within the organizations, I'm really telling them and sharing with them what's happening in the UK. Everyone is interested in London and the London gospel scene. I said, London is a lot smaller than the US. So your expectations are not going to be the same as over here. Over here, you've got 52 states. There could be an event in every state. There's an event every weekend. There's conferences. There's, conferences here and conferences there. It's just figure out what you're trying to achieve and which conference will meet your needs. And so I'm talking to the US about the UK, telling them about different artists there, the industry personnel there, and really trying to be that bridge and connection point. So I've been doing that for a long time. And then recently, I'll go back to the artists asking me to go to London. I said, okay, if I set something up, would you come? And they said, sure. I said, good. You need to invest in yourself before you expect people to invest in you. And so that's how the summit started. It was called the Gospel Explosion Summit at first. There were a group of us and we were partnering and doing it together. But then I took it on and revamped it, and it's now called the International Gospel Music Summit. And that has been so exciting over here because artists over here don't know where to start. How do I even start to get to know the industry in another country? Where do I start? Where do I begin?
Yeah.
And I want to go there. So I said, well, you can't expect churches, pastors, promoters to book you because they don't know you. So let's start with getting your music out there and, you know, raising your visibility. Just raising your visibility, your image, your music, and so people can start hearing you and getting used to and familiar with your sound and who you are. And then we'll go there and I will invite the industry to an event and let's do a mixer and get to know each other.
Yes.
So that's what we're doing in October, the International Gospel Music Summit.
That's amazing. Yes.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah. So hopefully that answered your question.
That really does. I was going to say, actually hearing all that, the relational connecting, that actually the International Gospel Music Summit is part of that. And actually a lot of your history is part of that. It's this relational building. And you coming into this, you are so big on community. You're a big fan. You champion community. Yes. And I know that over the recent periods where things have been harder, where it's maybe been harder to connect, people have sometimes lost that sense of community. But it sounds like you've just been gunning for it. You've been going, no matter what, no, let's keep connecting. Let's find out, how do we do community? So what does that look like for you recently, kind of still building that community?
Yeah. It's been challenging through this season, Jack. It's been a challenge. You know, first of all, we're used to being in person. We're used to being able to tangibly see and feel and hug and touch someone. We can't do that anymore, or we haven't been able to. So for me, you know, with my family being in London, it's easy to, you know, just retreat and just say, okay, I'll wait till this thing is over and then we can figure out, you know, reconnecting and getting together. But it's important to keep that connection going. By any means possible, whether it's a FaceTime call, whether it's a WhatsApp call, whether it's a Zoom. You know, my brother, I have 5 brothers in London. And
wow.
Yeah. And I tell you, I miss them a lot. But you know what they've done sometimes? They've just called me, just out the blue, on a FaceTime. They've got together and they're all in one room. And that just spoke volumes.
Yeah.
It really did. It just keeps that line of communication and connection going. I don't feel as isolated because we communicate on a regular basis, you know, so we call, we text, we do Zooms, we do family Zooms sometimes. And that just, you know, that just infuses me because yes, I'm a great believer in community and just trying not to be disconnected, but staying connected. That's important for all of us, from well-being, from mental health,
yes,
just staying connected and just checking in with each other.
Yeah.
You know, I've got extended nieces, nephews, grandkids, you know, just, we have got to leverage technology during this time. We have got to leverage technology. There's no excuse not to be in contact with anyone at all. We've got computers, we've got phones, we've got iPads. There's so many opportunities. So I just continue to text, to reach out, just to check in, how you doing, maybe have a quick call.
Oh, sorry about that. Our dog is barking in the background.
He wants a stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's keeping connected with you. He's letting you know he's here.
Exactly.
But I've just been leveraging technology, you know, calling on a regular basis, FaceTime calls, not just regular calls, just so that we can see each other and just checking in, how you doing? You know, so yes, that's how I've been really keeping that community feel going during this season, and just not being in touch with anyone. Because then you're isolating yourself, your mind is doing it overtime. I'm just speaking it out and really being honest about how I feel about this season.
Yeah.
Just really being honest about it and not just, yeah, I'm good, I'm okay, yeah, all is good. God is good. God is still good, but I'm not good. you know.
Yeah, I hear
So
that.
sometimes I need an encouraging word. Sometimes I need someone to just get on the phone and pray with me, just to lift me
Mm,
up a little bit. So I'm trying to do that with not just my family, but with my friends and my associates as well. So I'm on the phone a lot. I'm on a lot of Zooms. And
yeah, I can
I think
imagine.
it's important. It's important. And just to let people know, we are community. We are
Yeah.
connected. And not just for when I need you or for the good times or when I can see you, but in these times where we're all struggling and all trying to deal with restrictions and this season. So I would just say, make that call. If you haven't seen or heard from someone in a while, text
Mm,
them, call them,
mm,
just check
mm.
in on them, see how they are. If they're your neighbors, go knock on their front door and
Yeah,
just say hi. Just wanted to say hi. I'll stay 6 foot away from you, but hey, here's a virtual hug. Give
yeah,
someone a virtual hug today. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
it means a world of difference. So yes, I'm on the phone every week to my siblings, to my family, and to my friends, just to say, hey, I know we're distanced right now, but we're still connected. We're still community. We're still
Mm.
family. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I think that's a really actually beautiful way just to wrap up our time, actually, that staying connected. And I think what's beautiful about what you said there is there's also an element you're staying connected with yourself as well. Connected with
Yes.
yourself, you're connected with God, you're connected with others, because you're connected with yourself where you're saying you're not just doing the, oh, I'm good, you're doing the, this is me. And you're connected with others,
Yeah.
you're tuning in. So that's amazing. That is absolutely
Right.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. And I will be connecting in person. I'm coming to London. I'm coming to
Yes.
London in October.
That's
Yes, the
amazing.
summit is happening. It is happening. Whether we're going to be a minimal crowd or whatever it is, we are going to be in London
That's
this October the
incredible.
8th and 9th. Yes, we'll be at the Amber Hotel on Friday and we'll be at St. Andrew's Church in Holborn on Saturday. And we have a
Amazing.
website, Jack.
Amazing. Well, yeah, plug it away.
So all the information is on our site. It's www. in the International Gospel Music Summit.com. internationalgospelmusicsummit.com. So it's www.internationalgospelmusicsummit.com. And if you want to go, just inbox me. Reach out. Just inbox me. Yeah.
There we go. That's
You'll be
it,
my
isn't
guest.
it? Reach out to Carol, say hi, introduce yourself.
Yes, introduce yourself. The industry is coming. I have the president of the Gospel Industry Network, thegin.org. It's amazing. It is growing. There are at least 50 cities that have affiliates. The Gin is coming to London. Artists are coming to London. We have 17 artists that are coming to London to meet you, the UK industry. So if you want to come to the summit, inbox me and you can be my guest.
Amazing. Okay. Well, I think we're going to have to connect in again on this some other time. That's absolutely amazing. So thank you so much, Carol. And thank you for giving your time. It's been a real pleasure just to get to the heart of it with you this morning for you, this afternoon for me. It's been really wonderful. So if you want to connect on in, do make sure to find Carol, go over to their website, connect on in, drop them a hello and a hi and connect. If you want to stay connected with A Step Forward, you can do across our socials, type in A Step Forward, a forward is spelled FWD, and you can connect in across so many different things. Thank you, Carol, for being with me. Thank you for putting up with the noises of my dog in the background, sneezing, barking, all of that stuff.
Thank you so much for having me, Jack.
It's been a real pleasure.